Welcome to Survivor NSFW. Tonight, I'm joined as always by Jonny Fairplay and Matt Bischoff, and we've got alongside us the challenge beast, Coby Archa. Coby, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Just right off the bat here, normally these Patreon releases are going to be ad-free going forward, so if you become a patron, you can check out all of our shows ad-free. But we have one exception tonight because we are so excited about a new sponsor, Fracture. Jonny, will you tell us what they're doing?
Yeah, so if you go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW, you get every single podcast that you guys complain about the ads ad-free. Go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW and you get them early and ad-free, raw, uncut cut of the podcast. However, holy moly, Zack and I were on a call today for our newest sponsor, Fracture, and they were just like, hey, we have this new product, it's awesome. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see it. And they're just like, we sent it. And I'm just like, I don't think you did. And I'm in the middle of a remodel of my house. So I have boxes in my living room right now. Like I have Piper's new mattress. I have sinks, I have vanities, I have all this stuff going on. Like my house is chaos right now. But there was this huge box that I assumed was a sink for a bathroom. I mean, it was huge. And we're in the middle of the call, and they're just like, well, actually, the product that you guys are going to be talking about was actually delivered on Friday. And I'm just like, there's no way. I look and I see the word Fracture at the top of the mailing list, mailing invoice, and I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, this isn't a sink. I open it up. It's this.
That's dope.
How insane is that?
So how many did they send you? 200?
I wish.
That is a vivid print. It looks beautiful.
It is honestly, and I told them this on the conference call. It is the coolest thing that has ever been associated with Survivor NSFW. I mean, like, I love the fathead. I think that's cool as can be. I would throw the fathead in the trash can if I like. It is the coolest thing in the history of Survivor NSFW. I'm so stoked. I'm so pumped. And with that, let me just say this. This episode is brought to you by Fracture. Fracture turns your digital images into beautiful glass prints. That's right. They print your photos directly on glass, transforming your memories into handcrafted, frameless prints.
Fracture helps you focus on the moments that matter most by turning your favorite memories into beautiful glass prints like Jonny has on his wall. Fracture prints directly on durable glass with soft edges for safe handling. Prints come in multiple sizes, no frame required, and each print comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. If for any reason you don't love your print, Fracture's going to make it right. Glass prints also make unique gifts your friends and family will never forget.
And here's the cool deal with it. So every Fracture print, they start, they have a piece of glass, right? And then the ink is sprayed directly onto the glass and instantly cured through their special UV process. And these guys, they're green as can be, which is super awesome when you're thinking about the planet as we know it. That is what it is today. So it's really cool that they're very green in everything they do. But once they do that, they put a white ink, and it's a bright, opaque layer of white ink. It's applied directly beneath the color layer, and it brings up the color, and is so amazing. Then they do a lightweight minimal mount, and it's affixed to the glass print, and it lets your print stand off the wall. And it even comes with the screw to put into the wall to mount your glass. Without a doubt, I have never, as I said, like, today, Zack was on the conference call with me today. I felt like it was Christmas morning. I have never been so happy and so excited about a product.
It was fantastic. The fracture prints look incredible. Johnny's not overstating it. You really need to see him to believe it. Look on the wall behind him. You can upload your photos at fractureme.com/survivor to print your photos on glass today, whether it's vacation photos, family photos, whatever you've got. And we have a special deal for all of our listeners. Visit fractureme.com/survivor and enter promo code survivor, and you get 20% off your order. That's fractureme.com/survivor. Enter the promo code survivor, and you save 20% off your fracture glass print.
Yeah, and don't forget, I mean, like, so once you go to fractureme.com/survivor, it should be a personalized deal, but do not forget to enter promo code survivor, and they love it when we do that, and get 20% off your fracture glass print. And we thank Fracture for sponsoring the podcast. So without further ado, Coby Archa, Cheese Louise. We were talking before we went on the air. Not you, Coby. We actually do prep work on this show.
Do you?
Shockingly, very shockingly, you are like, if Donathan's not every survivor's new best friend, you are every survivor's old best friend.
Oh, how sweet! I guess that was like a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it.
It is not. Have you met Donathan?
No, everybody loves Donathan.
Oh, you would love Donathan.
I know everybody loves him.
Yeah,
I mean, I talked to him online. But we haven't met in person.
Oh, wait. Like, honest, like, what? There's a difference between you and Donathan, and
he's not mean.
Well, he does have it does have his Don bombs. So, but no, it's like there's just this likability that is immeasurable. That like there's so few. I mean, like I love Ethan. Ethan's one of my best friends. I love Wendell. You know, like there's Matt is the nicest survivor of all time. There's survivors that I love, that I consider great personally. You are in that small capsule of, I don't think I love anyone more than Coby.
Thanks, John. Thanks. I thought we were going to roast each other and be mean.
Oh, well, we'll get there, but
no, I appreciate that.
But
That's
I mean,
sweet.
but I think if you polled all the survivors of all time, they would be on that same platform. It's just like, we love Coby. I mean, your brutal honesty, but like with that brutal honesty, like we had Courtney on last week, and Courtney has that brutal honesty, and I love her, and there's plenty of people that also love her, but like, I don't think she gives you that lovability to go along with that, where you do.
I'm just a desperate whore. That's all I can say.
I mean, Coby, literally, the fact, Coby, that, I mean, I'm a huge fan of yours. And we have a history. We actually played a Survivor-like game in Maine together. But before we get to that, I mean, when I saw you...
Who got further, Matt? I don't remember.
You got further, but we made it far. I just didn't... Man, I want to get into all this shit.
I'm like the best at fake Survivor. Like, fake Survivor charity events, like, I always make it to the end.
Well, you're the man. I mean,
and that
dude,
says
like...
something.
You literally... The fact that you have not been back to play a second time, to me, is the most tragic story in Survivor. Like... Johnny, before we got on the podcast tonight, he sent out a couple videos just to recap, and I haven't seen Palau in a while, but it brought back all these memories of, you were such a great player. You were so America loved you. You were a challenge beast. You went on this journey. Some of these scenes where you're like, you know, I was back in the day, I might have been bullied. I'm the gay guy. And now I feel like I got something to fucking prove, and I'm proving it. It was this epic story, and the fact that Jeff Probst hasn't had you back on is beyond my comprehension. Out of anybody that has played twice, I cannot believe you haven't played a second time. And I know you would leave tomorrow.
I would leave right now
to play Survivor.
During this podcast.
Yeah, I've warned my children. I said, if I just suddenly disappear, I probably left and I didn't tell you about it.
So why do you think it is? Has Survivor ever called you back to play
Well, actually, I don't know if Johnny remembers, but I was actually in the group that was asked back for the first fans versus favorites. I don't know if me and Johnny talked about that at the time. I don't think we pre-gamed, did we, Johnny? I don't remember.
I don't think we pre-gamed.
I don't think we did. So I was in that group with Twyla, Yule, Shane, and Courtney that all got dumped 2 days before we left. So that's the only time I've been asked back was that one season.
Oh, I didn't know Courtney was in that group.
Yeah, Courtney,
Courtney
with the dress.
Last week?
No, Courtney Merritt, not Courtney Yates.
Oh, Courtney
Right.
Merritt. Oh,
So you literally went through the casting process, Coby. You went through casting for Fans versus Favorites, the first one.
Correct.
Johnny's on.
Yeah, not the one that you were on.
You went through all the right. Yeah.
I really wish you had taken my place, Coby.
So
Right.
what happened? Why do you think that you got?
They wouldn't tell us. I mean, I was in a great group of people, right? Twyla, Yule, Terry, Shane. I mean, it was great people. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was told Yule was a red herring. Production told me, or not production, casting told me, they're just like, Yule's boring. We'll never have him back.
Right.
They're like,
Oops.
that phone. Wow, were they wrong on that?
I was going to say, with me, they didn't really get a hold of me till late in the casting. It was Twyla that they really tortured,
Yeah.
Twyla's been tortured several times where she packed all her bags and gave her notices at work. And
Yeah. Whereas Terry, I know Terry's wife was making pregame alliances. He was not. His wife was. And I called Lynn Spillman and ratted her out.
Well,
very happily. While I'm making alliances with, whoever.
I was going to say,
I'm
Go
literally flying to Los Angeles, meeting with Penner, but I'm ratting out Jerry Dietz's wife.
Good. Play the game. Yeah, my mom pretty much said on her deathbed, I obviously pissed somebody off really bad in casting because I've never been asked back.
Yeah, I
really don't know. I don't know what it was. And I thought Jeff liked me, but now that he seems to have so much power.
Yeah, I still think you're coming back. We talked about this.
I think that, but everybody thinks that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do as I mentioned earlier, the patron version of the podcast is patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. I will stop with plugs for that until the very end, probably. But we talked about, what do you think about the idea? And I know a lot of fans will have issue with this, and I understand that. But here's my thing: we're 40 seasons deep into Survivor. And of the last 6 seasons or 7 seasons, there's been 5 duds. Okay. And I think for me, this is just personal opinion. I think that, when you cast someone, it's hit or miss. Like you might bat 1,000, you might bat 0, you might bat 500, but is 500 today better than an Ethan, a Coby, a Russell Hance? So with that being said, 40 seasons into the show, let's just say there's 10 more seasons. Can we not cast any more new people and just bring back previous players? Okay, proven commodities. And I mentioned during the patron Q&A, I have Zane Knight as a proven commodity. I would bring back Zane Knight a second time. Okay, that's how bad season 39, 38, 36, all those seasons except for David versus Goliath. Okay, that's how bad all those seasons were. That let's just, going forward, let's pick a theme and pick people that fit into those themes, and you don't even have to really make them fit. I mean, fuck, look at Game Changers. I mean, was there a fucking game changer in that fucking bunch? I mean, not being mean. I'm just saying I don't feel anyone really fit that criteria.
I agree.
So
I agree with everything you said, actually, as a fan, not as somebody who could maybe be brought back. Yeah, I get more excited to see, because you're rooting for them. You're already attached. So it makes it hard when they're strangers that you don't really care about.
Yeah, I mean, because as I said, it's really it's a flip of a coin whether they're going to be good characters or not. You know, like as I said, like you could have the best person on video and interview and all that, and then they get out there and it's just like, oh, well, I don't really like camping, and I'm like, well, this motherfucker might suck. You know, like or watching them be tortured could potentially be great, but that might even suck. So you don't know. With 40 fucking seasons, there's enough people that I know for a fact. Once again, Zane fucking Knight, I guarantee would be good TV brought back a second time.
And there's so many old school people I would love to see. Not because I made friends with them, but that's just a lot of people love old school.
Who are some of the top ones for you, Coby?
There's so many. Like Nalia. How has Nalia not been asked back?
No.
I think Twyla. Easy. Why hasn't she been asked back? I mean, there's like tons of people. I even like Christy from Amazon. How has she not been brought back? For me personally, I know some people don't love her.
Yeah. I would bring back
the list goes on and on.
Even a season that I thought fucking sucked, Chrissy Hoffback. I'll bring back Chrissy Hoffback in a second. So Cass, who personally doesn't like me, I bring her back. I mean, I just think there's so many, and you can pick. I mean, like Heroes Villains 2, Heroes Villains 18, whatever. They're like Third Time's a Charm. Like there's so many categories. Second Chance was considered by CBS a success. So Second Chance too, and it seems like Second Chance is higher on the list than pretty much any of the returnee seasons that's in Jeff Probst's.
Yeah, I'm shocked they've never done a Second Chance again. I thought it was a hit. As a fan, I loved it. I loved seeing the horror on people's face when they weren't picked.
Did you? Well,
I did. It hurt. So to me, it's like I was already attached for those people the second the game started, even more to me as a fan.
And you got free social media publicity by those people,
right?
And it was a lower tier of like, and I'm not shitting on anyone, but it's not like they picked the casting pool that they chose at that time didn't have blue checks beside their name. Right. Just imagine if they did an All-Stars fan vote, and you have those same people social media campaigning, promoting your product with a blue check beside.
I know. Why haven't they done that? It doesn't make sense.
I don't understand it. But as I said, I know the feedback is just like, fuck you, I want to play. I get that. But guess what? There's been 40 fucking seasons and you haven't been picked yet. So maybe you're not. Let's
I agree.
And blame people from Survivor Triple H and all that wasted your spot not doing anything. So.
yeah. I've only stopped watching 2 seasons. One was the one where Rob won because I felt like it was cast for him to win. Yeah. And the other was season 39 because I couldn't stand it.
Oh,
it was rough.
You.
Well, having a podcast about it was the worst ever, Johnny. I mean, that was the worst season. That was the Dan Spilo season, right?
Well, for the record, Matt, we have decided as a group that Survivor went from season 38 to season 40. So the fact that you're mentioning any of this doesn't ring any bells to me.
I'm confused as hell, man.
I feel that there were great people on the cast of 39, and I think even prior, like some of these newbie seasons, it's just the twists and the
Yeah, thank you.
But the challenges, Coby, the challenges were epic in Survivor Palau.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny and Zach preach about the Australian version of Survivor, how physical it is, and those challenges were. What's that?
The physicality and the simplicity. And you saw that in Survivor Palau. The exact same component that the reason Zach and I love Survivor, Australian version of Survivor, it's based. I think the Survivor version of the U.S., like Palau, is like the beginning of the end. Into going into the next formation of challenge. Over something, under something, a puzzle. And it's beautiful, and it's so it's eye candy to the extreme, more than Coby having a pillow fight against Redneck James.
Which was
what would
awesome.
we all rather watch? A pillow fight against Redneck James.
100%. And watching some of those clips when James is at Tribal Council and talking about going against Coby, it's crazy to me. It's like it was a different time back then. I think if we saw James speaking that way, not that James did anything necessarily wrong, but in today's world, it's just like, wow, Survivor was a different animal back then. But man, Coby,
there's a purity to what he said. It wasn't antiphobic. It was not.
Yeah, nope.
But I have had a lot of fans reach out to me who've recently watched it and they've said the same thing. They're like, wow, that was really not 2020. It doesn't bother me. People have asked me if it bothered me. I liked it because I'm an attention whore. Know your brand. And so I thought what James said was funny. I have a sense of humor, but I could see how, looking back in retrospect, it's not very sensitive.
Yeah, but don't you think there was a purity to what he, as I said, I don't.
There was a purity, but I mean, the underlying thing was that he was shocked that a gay guy could actually do something physical. He's so shocked because we're all such Nellies. I mean, that was the undercurrent some people are reading into, I think.
I think the bigger undercurrent,
but I liked it. I thought it was hilarious.
I think the bigger undercurrent was he didn't know. There was a lack of knowledge. It was just like, man, I've never met a homosexual before. They're strong. I'd imagine they could be because they work out. I mean, he's just saying all these words that are just like, these are all the crazy thoughts going through my mind because I don't understand. I'm trying to process. And as I said, I don't think it came from a feeling of hate. I think it came from a feeling of not knowing, and I thought that was a real as opposed to being woke and let's shoving this down your throat let me make you learn better. This was, hey, this dumb hillbilly didn't know. He's learning as he goes, and he wasn't against it. It was just a lack of knowledge, and as he learned, he was just like, I'm into this.
I agree that that's part of the problem with being woke is that then we get so sensitive, we kind of miss the core of what Survivor used to be, which was 16 very different people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Coby,
this whole thing is so thought provoking. I thought we were going to come in here and talk shit and be like,
well, we can.
No. I like it. But y'all are super intellectual. Go ahead.
No.
Go.
We're 201 episodes into the show now, so I mean,
I'll catch up. I'll get there. Come on.
Awesome. So I was just going to say, speaking of things that were surprising to people on the show, were you surprised at all that you did emerge as such a challenge beast? For me, one of the most moving parts of Palau was you kind of breaking down and saying, I've never been part of a team before. I've been bullied. I've never been allowed myself as I've come into my own to do this. So were you completely surprised?
I was completely surprised because I went in thinking my mind would be sharp as a razor and my body would be mush. And it was really the opposite. My body wouldn't give up and my mind was a mess. And then you have to remember by our season, it really wasn't that physical yet. Our season was one of the first really physical seasons. So we were shocked. Every time a really physical game came up, we were like, wait, you want us to hit each other? You want us to drown each other for a buoy out in the ocean? So we didn't know what we were getting into. And I don't think you know what your body can do until you do it when it comes to starving. My body loved being out there. My mind, not so much.
Yeah. But for the record, you're a big bitch. I mean, the first time I met you, I was just like, oh my God, is Coby going to make me his girlfriend? Because I don't feel like I have a vote in this.
I'm 6'4". We had a very big cast. Yeah, Ian's 6'7". Yeah, Jolanda's 6 foot. Janu's 6 foot. So I mean, we had a very large cast.
That's so great because people see I remember the night of the premiere of Survivor Palau Islands. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and me and Thunder D went to a club afterwards, and this girl's like, "Oh my God, you look just like that guy from Survivor, except a foot shorter." Wait till you meet Rupert. Rupert's 5'2". Most people don't know that. 5'2".
He is not 5'2".
What? Oh, so I'm not. I didn't.
Hey,
listen.
Hey, you want to hear my Rupert story? When they were interviewing us on the beach, y'all season wasn't that old, and so I said one of the things I hate is Rupert. And they were like, oh, and so they kept focusing on that because everybody loved Rupert. And I was like, I'm tired of Rupert. I hate Rupert. So they put that in the commercials. So the first time I met Rupert at a charity event, I was in the back of a van and I was kind of nervous about meeting him. And he comes stomping in the van and I'm like, well, maybe he won't say anything. And then he whips his head around and he corners me in the back of the van and he goes, what's this about you not liking me? And then by the end of the night, we got thrown out of a casino together because he got drunk and was cussing the whole time.
Oh, there you go. Rupert.
There's Rupert, America's sweetheart.
America's favorite player.
Yep.
All right.
Let me just tell you this, dude. This is totally non-Survivor related, but you can grow a fucking badass beard, Coby.
Fuck yes.
You probably don't, but the density of your fucking beard.
This isn't shaved down today. This isn't shaved with no guard today, and I'm that hairy still.
Yeah,
it's gotten gray though. If I was to grow it, I would have like a gray streak, like a wolf right here.
But you had like a jet black. You were a fucking badass, and I think that's what people loved about you. It's like, man, this is like the beauty of Survivor. You got this gay dude who's a physical threat, who's got this badass beard that's coming into his own. How much of an emotional ride, Coby, was Survivor for you? You played the game, then you watched it back on television. Kind of take us through your mindset during that.
Now we're going Oprah style.
the maturation to the fly that is Coby Archa.
Exactly. At the time, it's funny. I was 32 when I played, and that sounds like an adult, but I was really naive. Like I was really dumb about everything. I was very much like, oh my gosh, there's Jeff Probst. And oh my gosh, like I was so shocked by it all that even when the experience was done, I was just kind of like, wow, that was really cool. But I didn't really get it until, retrospect, when you get older and have kids and moments like this. Like I can't believe 15 years later, people still send me fan mail and people still talk to me like you guys are today. Like that probably blows my mind in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cheesy but true?
Oh no, we dig it. So
it's just true. I was very naive.
Let's go back in time. All right, so let's go pre-Survivor Palau.
Yes.
How do you get on the show?
I auditioned, unlike you, spotted at a gas station. Every single season.
I love the people that really try. They hate me. And the other recruits that are just like, yeah, I was a recruit too, but I didn't do shit once. Like me, I went and watched every fucking episode. I go get skin diver and scuba diver certified in Catalina. I read all.
You're great.
It's like, oh my God, this is gonna change my fucking life. Whereas other recruits are like, yeah, they fucking asked me and I showed up. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So for those of you that hate me because I was cast, I fucking did the work after.
And you dominated, motherfuckers. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
So I auditioned every single season until they picked me. So I auditioned 9 times.
For the first season even?
No, because I was on season 10. So I auditioned 9 times because I didn't know about it till it aired.
Yeah.
And so every time I would, ironically, here's the story, the moral of the story. Every time I tried to like do something flashy or I'd jump in a lake or I'd do this or that. And then on my 9th time that I auditioned, we were about to go to New York. And I was just like, just forget it. They're probably not going to pick me anyway. And my best friend at the time was like, you have to audition. You've done it every single time. So she filmed me on my back porch, no editing, just talking shit to her. And like a bug got on her or something. I started making fun of her and she was like freaking out because the bug was on her. And so I actually took the tape to New York because we were leaving the next morning. And I mailed it from New York the day we were going to see Madonna at Madison Square Garden. And that's the tape that got picked, was when I didn't even try.
Wow.
Moral of the story.
Be yourself.
Madonna.
Yeah, and Madonna.
Yeah, Madonna, I think, is the moral of the story.
Maybe I need to go see him. Maybe I need to go see another Madonna concert, see if I get cast again.
That's where you fucked up. Like why have you not seen Madonna every year?
Exactly. It's my fault.
Yeah, so what was Jeff Probst like when you're at the LA casting finals where you get out there?
These are good stories.
And you go and you do the first interview with Jeff Probst. What was his opinion of Coby Archa?
Okay, this is a good story. And I don't know if I've ever told this anyway, so hold tight. I'll try to make it quick. So I met Jeff.
Don't make it quick.
Okay, so I met Jeff and I was super nervous because I was such a fan. And so like him and Lynn did not like me, I don't think. Could be one of the reasons I didn't get asked back for a long time. So they kept like roasting me and they wouldn't listen to me and they would always spin things around. And then finally I go into one of the castings and I tell them to shut up. And I'm like, you're all going to have to shut up. I have a speech I want to give because nobody's listening to me. This could be my last chance. And so I get up in front of them and I just do this whole entire speech. I can see it in Jeff's face. He was like, ding. And he starts writing. And so I was like, yeah. So then I go back to my hotel room and I'm like, I think I got this. Well, then they invite me to meet Martin Burnett. So last time I left, I was like a rock star. So I come in, I'm like, yeah, I'm a rock star. And everybody's sitting there like this. And I walk in and I'm like, hi, Mark, it's nice to meet you. They won't talk to me. So I sit down in my chair and then Mark starts flipping through paperwork. Nobody's talking but Mark. And he's like, maybe I shouldn't tell this story in case I have a chance to go back. He's not going to let that tell the story.
No, well, get you back.
Who gives a shit?
There you go.
So because they used to be rougher back then. I doubt they treat people like this now.
No.
So he's flipping through it and he's like, so what's up with your hair? My hair was in a mohawk at the time. And I was like, well, I'm a hairstylist, so I like it like this. And he goes, oh, really? Even though it's outdated? And I was like, yeah, I like my hair like this. And he's like, well, according to the application here, you were raised on a farm. Is that why you have your hair like that? Because you look like a chicken? So I crossed and uncrossed my legs like Basic Instinct style. And I said, well, I guess you could say I have a cock complex. And then he's like, and I'm looking at your IQ. And according to your IQ, you're kind of stupid. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. And he's like, no, really, like you have one of the lowest IQ scores we've ever seen. And I said, well, that's all right. I run my own business and you don't pay my bills, so I wouldn't worry about it. So he continues to harass me. And then here's the part I am going to gloss over because I'm telling you, I don't know if I should say it.
Just do it.
Okay. It's bad, though. As we're talking about 2020, it's bad.
It's okay. It wasn't 2020.
It is what it is, yes.
Yeah.
So then, and let me preface this with, I think they knew I was going to be a hothead. And so they were trying to push me to be the hothead,
sure,
right? Because they didn't treat everybody like this. I've compared notes. I was one of the only people they were mean to.
Yeah. Yes.
So he keeps going and I keep volleying the ball. And then finally I'm just like, haha, he can't get me. And then finally he's like, so what else are you going to bring to the show besides that you're just a fag? And I was like, what? So then another producer basically says that. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. Another producer does it. Another produces it. And they basically all just start calling me. And so I got very upset. I told you it was bad. Fairplay, should we edit this out?
No.
Mark Burnett, he's not going to watch this.
No.
So,
what year was this?
It was 2004.
2004 is a very different animal for those of you watching right now, and a lot of you are a lot younger. You're just like, holy shit! 2004 was a different. Like 2004, I can tell. Like I live in Danville, Virginia, right now. It was the last capital of the Confederacy. They at one time they were the first to remind you of that. They're not anymore. Okay, there's very few idiots that that have the flag up in their fucking yards, but they are so few and far between. They didn't know that was a bad word. Right. They might not know in 2020 that that's a bad word.
And I knew what they were doing. They were poking the bear. And it finally worked. So I got really upset. I got a little glossy-eyed. And then I was like, and then Mark was like, okay, you're done. And nobody talked to me. And so I started to crawl out of the room. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And then out of the blue, Jeff. And see, this is once again why I'm surprised Jeff hasn't invited me back, because I know he likes it. Jeff was like, hey, Coby, one more thing. And I knew he was throwing me a bone.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I was like, yes. And he goes, I have a serious question. What do you think came first? And I think this is valid for 2020. He was like, what came first? Do you think the stereotype of being gay or the stereotype of acting gay? Do you think you were born like that? Or do you think it's because what you saw in society and you're imitating? And I was like, well, that's a very interesting question. I never thought about it. And I said, but I don't know. I mean, most gay guys can decorate. And most of us do like track lighting. And so when I said that, they all laughed, and then I knew I was good.
Wow.
That's amazing, dude.
That is one of the craziest casting stories in the history of Survivor. But once again, let's set the table. 2004, very, very different, and no apologies and no excuses. Okay, I'm not. 2004 is a very different animal.
Well, and I'm an adult. I could have stood up if I really thought it was crossing lines. I mean, I understood it, and I was fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I did a movie called The Scorned, that was covered by Kill Reality on the E channel, and there was a scene in which I call Riken the F word, and Riken's like, I really want this out of the script. Like, I have in my personal life, I have walked down the street with a boyfriend, and I've had people throw a bottle at my head from a car yelling that word. He was like, there's just so much hate associated with it that I understand, you guys are writing a script of dialogue of funny lines. And this was 2005. That was still at that time a funny word. He was like, I just asked that you remove that from the script. And that became.
Well, I appreciate you putting that in context. Because like I said, I don't want people to run with that and be like, oh my God. I mean,
yeah. This is a year later.
Right.
A year later, this is in a movie script, and it's not like, oh my God, these guys are really pushing the envelope. It's just like, no, this is a like if Superbad came out in 2005, that's got that word in it probably.
Well, and the thing that I think, you guys, is from the beginning of Survivor, they have pushed the limits of this social experiment. So, I mean, we've had seasons that were divided by race, right? And we've had all this crazy stuff happen. So the fact that they did that, it doesn't surprise me, especially back then. And you know what? It brought a great, character to television, which was Coby Archa. And then many others after.
Because of Coby.
Yeah, there are countless Survivor contestants post Coby Archa that I know have got to be influenced by you. Just like musical, like bands that come out, you're always influenced by, like, okay, this band's influenced by Nirvana, or this band's influenced by this. You are an influential Survivor castaway.
Thanks, man.
I don't think there's a turd. A turd.
A turd. Wow.
Turd hot
This took an ugly, dirty turn.
I've got to make this fucking turd hot dog shirt. I'm so dropping the ball. Oh, everyone watching, if you follow our Labor of Love podcast coverage, the coital stimulations shirt featuring Matt Bischoff is now available at JonnyFairplay.com. This is ad free, but fucking hey, is that an insane shirt? But yeah, no, I need to make a turd hot dog shirt. But no, I don't think Todd Herzog is the character that he is without you laying that groundwork.
And you guys, when I remember people from the earlier season said that, casting was even crazier for them. Apparently when they used to tell you that you made it, they would come to your hotel room and they'd pop champagne, and Mark Burnett and Jeff would party with you. So, I mean, that's what I mean. It's changed over the years. So keep all that in mind.
Yeah. Did they do that with you?
No.
Oh.
I never saw Mark again until we went to CBS and then on the island.
I didn't get Mark and Jeff. I got taken up
the
to
casting
the suite and champagne and the shots and all that with Lynn and Ellen and everybody.
No, I got shots. I didn't get no champagne.
Well, just peek behind the curtain. I never got shots, champagne, nor have I ever met Mark Burnett. When I did all my interviews, Mark Burnett was not even a factor. It was Jeff Probst, Lynn Spillman, and some other producers, but I've never met Mark Burnett, which is fucking crazy.
It blows my mind to talking like there are more survivors that have not met Mark Burnett than have. And like on Pearl Islands, we were the pirate themed season, and Pirates of the Caribbean had just come out, and we didn't know it was that big a hit. And but Mark Burnett did, and his kids knew. So his kids are playing on every challenge, like we get there and they're literally playing on the challenge as we walk up.
That's cool.
And it's just like, and Mark's like, guys, today's going to be crazy. And it's like, okay, it's going to be crazy. And I'm just like, man, these kids really are into pirates. This is, because the movie that summer was supposed to be The Incredible Hulk, and that was a dud. And then Pirates of the Caribbean. And so, for that to be followed by, a pirate themed season of Survivor. It's like, holy moly. But Mark Burnett, as I said, every single day. I mean, like, I don't, I guess non-challenge days or whatever, but like, I don't remember not seeing Mark Burnett. And that's
crazy. Yeah, he showed up in Palau like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So that counts.
Yeah. No, I mean, several times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, Coby, that makes your story even more incredible to me, hearing some of that you start off in that way with your Survivor casting process and then are able to go out there and do so much to challenge stereotypes. Like that's a pretty incredible story. So,
Thanks.
Hats off to you for having to withstand that and then also coming out there and surpassing those limiting expectations. So
thanks. Yeah, I've had conversations with some of our Black Survivor friends lately with everything that's going on with them. Because, they hate that they're being portrayed as a stereotype, a lot of them, which I understand and respect their conversation, but they've asked me my opinion and I'm like, it's tough for me because like me, I went out as a stereotype and I don't mind that. I like it. I embraced it. I mean, that's cool if you don't want to be a stereotype, but I think it should be cool if I want to be a stereotype. You know what I mean? Like I am a hairdresser with flaming purple hair and that's okay. Like I don't need to go out there and act like I'm somebody else just to not be a stereotype, quote unquote. So that's a hard conversation for me in 2020.
Yeah. Well, we're not that podcast.
I don't know. Are you sure?
Well, I was going to ask about Redneck James's fake social media accounts. So we're not.
Well, I can tell you one of them really is him.
Yeah, one of the 12. I know.
Yeah, right. And James is funny because I will tell you this: we always thought James was fake. Like the whole time we were like, we would not be surprised if when this is over, he's going to show up at the finale and be like, Heidi ho, and be somebody else because he was such a caricature. Because you realize like he named his kids. Do you know what he named his kids? I forget now, but it was like Liberty and Justice for All is the name of his kids. The girl is Liberty Ann and the boy is Justice for All. And that's really their names. When we met his stripper wife, who God rest her soul, I think she has passed away in all seriousness.
Stripper wife, please continue.
Well, when she showed up at the finale, she was as much of a character as him. And so once again, we were all like, is he paying this woman to be like an actress? Because she was such a caricature stereotype.
Hey, please do not insinuate that previous survivors have shown up at reunion parties with a paid escort of any kind, especially at the 10th anniversary party, Russell Hands. I don't even know what.
I love that. I love that gossip.
And now we'll take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon. And let me tell you, I'm about to turn 30 years old. It's about that time I start cutting down on carbs, sugar, unhealthy food, and all that shit. I realized I basically can't eat anything anymore. That's where Magic Spoon comes in. Tell them about it, Johnny.
Oh, man. 0 grams of sugar. 11 grams of protein. That's right, 11 grams of protein and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. What am I talking about? Magic Spoon. 4 delicious flavors previously: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. What was my favorite? It was the frosted. But boom! What am I looking at right now? This is the greatest week of my life. I'm looking at brand new peanut butter Magic Spoon and honey nut. Oh, man. Tomorrow, I'm having both. I am so excited. I'm breaking all the rules. I mean, you heard me correct. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein, only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free, and taste amazing. The most important part, honestly, too good to be true. You can join me. Be like just me. Try those new flavors as well. Where do they go, Zach?
Go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in this product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked, but you're going to like it. That's magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast.
Any fool can climb a wall or crawl through sand, but as every fan knows, Survivor challenges are won or lost at the puzzle. The most successful players are puzzle masters, and you can be one too. Fairplay, Perplexers Puzzles creates handmade miniature replicas of many of Survivor's greatest and most challenging puzzles. find out if you have what it takes by visiting the Perplexers Puzzle Store on Etsy or simply visiting survivorpuzzle.com. Enter promo code FAIRPLAY, FAIRPLAY, at checkout for a 10% discount. And let me tell you, I'm hanging out on my patio on these beautiful summer nights. I have Zack Hacker coming over to my house, and we did the fire puzzle, the season 40 puzzle. I got the tree puzzle, and Zack was like, dude, these things are fucking awesome. So if you are a fan of Survivor, as Zack is, and I know he has a true, authentic Survivor puzzle that I have personally done, these Perplexers puzzles are the real deal. So go to survivorpuzzle.com right now, enter promo code FAIRPLAY at checkout for a 10% discount, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So, Coby, your Survivor experience transcended just this reality television show. I mean, you have a child. Your child was named after someone on your season.
Yeah. Yep.
And you had a close friend who has now passed away. And so I know, like, the Survivor experience for you has got to be bittersweet. It's got to be heavy in the fact that it was just this growing experience for you. And there has been some tragedy and some love. Kind of talk me through some of those situations, bro.
Gosh, you're so good at this. I didn't know it's going to have to be like this.
No, it's a real deal, man.
I love it.
I'm an emotional dude, and I know that even playing the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge with you, Survivor has meant so much to you, and there is a lot of tragedy and a lot of love. So,
I guess that's
real quick, Coby. In the history of Survivor, I don't think anyone's life has been more changed. Like your top 10 most changed life because of the show, I think.
I would agree. It made me grow up a lot. I think part of my, everybody's experience is different. My experience with Survivor was that I went out there and I was basically myself. I never played up for the cameras. I never played to be a character. I never thought, oh, wow, how will this sound on TV? Like, I was just me. So when I look back at Survivor, to me, it's like a home movie. So when I watch it, that's the way I see it. So that's why I do understand it. But when other people are like, oh, I hated the way I was edited, or that wasn't at all my experience, I'm like, I feel so lucky because I feel like they really captured my experience and that I was lucky enough to be shown a lot. So I definitely grew. And then, yes, me and Janelle are still friends. And my daughter's now 15. She's driving, which is terrifying.
Wow.
And then, of course, there was Jen, who I could talk about forever. And if I ever got to go back, here I go with a cheesiness. If I ever go back, it would be to play for Jen. I definitely would play for her.
So what was your relationship like? I mean,
well, me and Jen out there were not super close. That's what's ironic. She picked me for the pick'em, and then she basically got sucked up Greg's ass. So we were friends out there, but we weren't like super friendly because any conversation I had with her out there was with Greg. Mistake number one. And then I fell in love with her during the Final Four challenge when she was fighting Ian for fire, because that challenge went on longer than it looked. So she was hitting her hand with the knife over and over and over. And I remember at the time thinking, I totally underestimated her. Like, I don't even really know who this girl is because she's got fire. And then it was, yeah, not literally. And then shortly after the show, she was diagnosed with cancer. And so we were friends. But she called me out of the blue and she said, hey, Inside Edition is coming for my first chemo and they would like it if you cut my hair. You want to come? And I was like, sure. So that's when it really changed for us, because the first chemo, I let her shave my head first and then I shaved hers. And then basically after that, we were kind of inseparable. And I ended up moving to California to be close to her. And we both left California 2 weeks before she died at the same time.
Oh,
she was great.
That's one of the most gnarly. That's the beauty of Survivor, you guys, is the fact that we all play this crazy game that $1 million is on the line. But the friendships and real shit that we make outside the game is literally worth more than any amount of money. Our friend Sunday is going through cancer right now. and the support that I don't give a fuck if you think Jonny Fairplay is an asshole or if you hate somebody. The Survivor family, for the fans that are out there that don't know how fucking awesome it is, these are the type of moments that show how beautiful it is. And I know, Coby, that you are the most sincere fucking guy. And the fact that you were able to create this friendship, you might not have been great friends in the, but through her chemo, you were there for her, all because of this crazy show called Survivor. And it has changed your entire life.
Correct. And I will give Jeff Probst a shout out for that. He actually took Jen to some of her chemo treatments in the end. You know, her and Jeff became very close. In the end, Jen really only talked to her family, Jeff Probst, and me in the end. And I think it's because she liked truth tellers in the end. You know, she didn't want people to sugarcoat it. And Jeff's like that too.
Wow. That is amazing.
It is
All
amazing.
Right. So let's go back in time. Let's start with the beginning of Palau. We're only a couple minutes into the interview, so this is
yeah, no big deal.
We got the heavy shit out of the way first. Now we'll talk about the game.
Yeah, let's talk game and then let's spill some tea. Okay, so let's talk about the twist of the schoolyard pick to start the game. This is the first time in the history of Survivor, and did you literally shit yourself?
I did.
You figuratively shit yourself, or did you both literally and figuratively shit yourself?
I did both.
Okay.
But you have to remember, once again, I was super naive, even though I was 32. So in my head, even though it was a horrible scenario, I thought, I'll probably get picked. And then as it went on and I wasn't getting picked, I was like, shit. But what the fans always ask about, and they forget, even though I thought they made it clear, is that we actually didn't do that till day 3.
Yeah.
So we knew everybody out there really well. So that's why we were all crying and hysterical, because A, the scenario, and B, we really knew these people. This wasn't like we were just randomly picking people. Yeah. And so I really liked Wanda, Karen, and Angie. I liked all 3. I mean, me and Wanda had stayed up the whole night before talking about her son, who was in a lot of trouble at the time, and she was worried about him. And so I really felt for Wanda, but I just knew physically she probably would not make it.
Have you met my friend Lil?
I have met your friend Lil, and I was super pissed because I'm a huge fan of Pearl Island. It's probably one of my favorite seasons. And I was a huge fan of hers, and I met her at some charity event, and she was a total bitch to me, and I was very disappointed because I was like, way to go, Lil. I'm a huge fucking fan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just imagine living with her.
No.
It's very, very comparable.
Yes. No. So yeah, I was sad.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so you have the square pick. Like, what's going through your head? Are you just like, this is the most fucked up twist in the history of Survivor?
Empathy is what was going through my head, because all of us were like, wait, this is so fucked up, because whoever goes home, they're not going to get to see tribal council. They didn't even get to do a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, these people left their jobs.
At least if you're first off, you got to do that shit.
Right. No, I thought it was terribly unfair and shocking.
But did you kind of love it at the same time?
I don't know if I loved it. In retrospect, yeah, because it was one of those many things. Our season had so many firsts. But no, at the time, I really was like, wow, this is really fucked up.
Yeah.
What was it about Jonathan that made you target him at that point?
Jonathan was very easy to unlock. Okay, so here's the thing. You go through casting, right? And you see all the people and you're like, oh, these are all the people. Well, then I showed up and there was like all these hot people that I never even saw at casting. And I was like, wait, I thought I was a young, hot person. I'm like a fat, old person compared to these people. So when we hit the beach, I was like, there are too many young, good-looking men here, and they're going to gang up against us and pick us off one by one. So I wanted just one of the young, good-looking people to go, and that was Jonathan.
Good strategy.
Smart. So, all right. So we have the twist, and then let's fast forward to Redneck James.
Sumo at scene.
So the pillow fight challenge, we don't see that in 2020. Do you think we'll see that going forward? Are we not allowed to have a physical challenge like that? Because in the history of Survivor, you know, like you think about heroes, villains with James and Randy and like, I'm a smaller guy. I should not be an advocate for this. Like I should be like, I have this platform here, Survivor NSFW, you know, production, Jeff Probst, everyone looking right now. Do not ever do the pillow challenge again. It's the worst thing ever. No. me being 5'8", 145 pounds, I'm saying I want the fucking pillow challenge every fucking season.
And I think a lot of fans like it, so I do think it'll be back. I think people do like that kind of thing.
Okay. I mean,
I don't think it's gone forever. I don't.
Okay,
I think they maybe overdid it for a while, and so they're laying off.
Well, it's due. It's so due. So
agree.
Looking back, holy moly, you're going against a hillbilly. They're wiry. I don't know if you're aware of this. So, I mean, we were talking stereotypes earlier. Hillbillies are typically dumb, but they'll surprise you.
They're swing.
They're crafty.
Yeah.
They're very crafty, and they're wily. So what is your worry and pillow fighting with James in those underwear?
Thanks. My manties. Yes, they tricked me into wearing my manties, by the way. I did not want to be on national television in my manties, though they did turn out really well in challenges because I never had anything hanging off me. Well, with those challenges, they usually do 2 out of 3. So we actually had to fight each other twice, 2 out of 3. So one of those, James did beat me. So the one where I won the whole thing, I think I had beat him once, he had beat me once, and it was even more of a big thing because he had just beat me.
Oh.
But I knew that if I paid attention, here's the thing about James, he is and so I knew that if I was smart enough to watch him, he would probably repeat the same pattern over and over.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I watched his attack because he would come straight for me every time.
Yeah.
And so I always thought I need to go down, I needed to hit his legs. I knew I could be smarter even if I wasn't strong.
On the final battle shown, you're shown just taking his attack, and it's you knowing that let's see if repetition is key to this.
Right.
Wow.
So when you did the tie, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, so when you did the tiebreaker, did you guys have to do it 3 times again, or was that just a one-off?
No, like I said, the tiebreaker was the 2 out of 3 where he beat me once, I beat him once, and then it was the tiebreaker.
Gotcha.
They showed me twice. We actually did it 5 times. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Wow.
Or 4 times or whatever. Because I think he only beat me once and I beat him all the others.
Yeah. That's so
it was pressure because I really knew it was all up on me. Yeah. But I went in thinking I think I can get him because I knew he was going to come at me the same way.
But you're a big dude. Like how big was Red?
I am a big dude. He's not tiny. I mean, he's tall. You're right that he's thin, but he's muscly. Like
he's wiry.
He's strappy. Yeah.
Wiry. Yeah. As I said, like there's a word I can't use right now to describe strength in 2020 that some people have.
Yeah. I knew I would be good at swimming and stuff like that. I just didn't know how good I'd be at a challenge like that because I'd never done that in real life. I've never wrestled in real life like that. Yeah. Fancy that.
But hillbilly strength is a thing. I mean, they'll shot you. You go to a bar that you shouldn't be at, and you watch 2 hillbillies fight, and you're seeing punches come from places that they shouldn't. So there's something magically special about them. All right, so let's talk real quick before we go any further. Let's talk about that camo buff. I mean, I know a lot of people listen to this podcast. They're buff collectors. There it is. One of the most unique buffs in the history of the show. And one of the, I love that buff more than anything. But for those of you that are not buff collectors that are wondering where the hierarchy of buffs go, one of the top most sought after buff in the history of the show is the Merge Tribe.
Merge buff.
The Merge buff from Survivor Palau.
Which is green. Yeah. So you want to address that real quick too about the merge? I've said it online a few times because some people are like, I wonder if you just didn't merge because you kept winning, blah, 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 blah. So we asked Jeff at the finale, we said, is that what happened? Because we kept winning, did you not merge? And he said, no, all that stuff's planned before we go out there. We don't cater how the show goes to what's going on. And so we said, okay.
And I believe that.
Then somebody that was in the press took a picture in a meeting room, of the board saying how the season was going to go that they put out later. And it said that we would have had a merge at final 8. But see, we had already taken Oolong out at final 8. So that's why they didn't have it. So that's why there was a final merge.
Yeah. Do you wish you had gotten that green buff out there?
Yes. Or even now. Like you said, it's very hard to get. They come up every once in a while on eBay and they're very expensive.
You don't have one?
I don't. They didn't give us one. I think the only person who got one out of our group was Wanda. and she gave it to like Larry Geiler.
Oh my God!
Speaking of Redneck James, for those of you wondering, Redneck James likes to share his social media account sometimes with Larry Geiler. So that being the case, do not be Redneck James's friend on any social media. Is my personal advice.
Good advice. I'm probably friends with Larry, and I think it's Redneck James.
So Coby, I want to ask you, out of all the seasons, I mean, you're a huge Survivor fan. Are you, and Jonny has been on record, like he loves that he got to play Pearl Islands. Are you super happy that you got to play Survivor Palau, or is there any other season if you wish you would have been like, they passed me up on this season and I wish I would have played this season? Or is Palau the one?
Looking back, I'm definitely glad I was on Palau because it was beautiful and gorgeous. And like I said, the theme was cool with war. As a fan, when it aired, I was destroyed I wasn't on Amazon. Because for some reason, I always wanted to be in the Amazon. Once I saw it, I woke up from that and was like, thank God I wasn't in the Amazon. Mm-hmm. But in theory, I wanted to be on Amazon.
No.
I'm so glad you were like, in the history of Survivor, I love Amazon as a season. I love what it was, and
it hasn't aged well.
No, and I think what you brought to Palau was so much more than what could have potentially like.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I would have done well with that cast. And since they separated it with the sexes, it would have been me and all of the guys.
Yeah, no.
But Jonny, Daniel Fairplay, Jonny, I want to ask you, dude. Like, if we were to do a top survivors of all time list, Coby Archa would be on our list.
Yeah.
Why do you think, Jonny Fairplay, that Coby has not come back again on Survivor?
I think Coby's had his problems on social media.
I'm a little honest.
But it's so crazy because I know for a fact that when they're casting, like not necessarily SEG or Survivor casting, but when CBS is casting, they don't give a fuck. They've never looked at your social media. Like that is a non-fact. Like, and I could be 1,000% wrong, but my guess is they're just like, hey, remember Russell? He was good. Bring back Russell. Hey, remember Boston Rob? We like Boston Rob. Why don't you bring him back? I'm guessing they never looked at a single tweet that either one of them did. I mean, like, fuck, Boston Rob's tweets will put you to sleep more than, it's just the worst. It's just like, I'm not really saying words. So just, sorry, Boston Rob's Twitter. So, but like, I don't think that's a fact, but I do think that the SEG and Survivor casting, they are looking at social media and they're just like, ooh, red flag Coby.
Hey, I haven't been bad in a long time.
I know it has been a long time, but I think you would have gone back before. But
if I would have kept my mouth shut, maybe,
and I think that's wrong. I'm just like, well, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck what 3,000 people on Facebook see that are either gonna hate you or love you, no matter if you had posted that or not?
I would agree with that.
Let me ask you this: if there was a Second Chances Part 2, and it's a popularity contest, fan vote, a truly fan vote, do you feel, Coby, that you could make the cast of a Second Chances 2 based off of the Survivor fandom out there?
Yeah, but wouldn't every Survivor say that? I mean, is any Survivor going to say it? They would say no.
I don't. Well, but because, dude, like, I see your post on social media. People still ask you for your autographs. You're heavily, you are. I mean, more active than a lot of people. So I think you have a lot of fans out there. I mean, I was a fan. I mean, when I got to play the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge, and I show up, and Coby Archa, I'm a fan of Survivor, right? So I'm looking at the Survival Challenge as my second chance of playing Survivor. I see you and I'm like, holy fuck, it's Coby Archa. I was 100%. I wouldn't say starstruck because I don't get starstruck easily, but I was like, man, this motherfucker's a legend. And I wanted to play with you. However, I did have my reservations solely because I had just played Survivor and I'd seen someone like Dawn Meehan, who I watched in her first season, who I thought I could trust, who stabbed me in the back. So I was like, man, like I really want to play with Coby, but this guy is a fucking badass strategic threat. Can I trust Coby? And I wish things have panned out differently, but my experience playing that game with you, dude, and seeing you go far, that experience to me was almost as great as playing Survivor with you.
Oh, I love you.
Well, Matt, you bring up there's a list of survivors, the top survivors that Coby would be on. Another much smaller list I think Coby would be on is a list of old school players who could come in and dominate the new school game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Coby, how do you think you would do? And do you think that being on such a dominant tribe screwed you up because you'd be better in a fluid game?
Well, there's always the coulda, woulda, shouldas, right?
Sure.
So, like, it's easy to say, well, if we would have lost some and then there would have been a merge and I would have had Bobby, John, and Ibrahim in my pocket, you can say that all day long. It could have ended to be the same way. I mean, who knows? I do think it hurt me in some sense because there were people ahead of me on the chopping block that then moved because we waited so long. Like, Karen was supposed to go way before me, but she kissed their ass as it went on. She played a better game. Get it, Karen? And so, my position did change because they saw me as a bigger threat because they saw me more and more, right? Do I think I'd be better today? I actually do. And I do think survivors probably all say this. But looking back, that's what drove me crazy. I was like, you're in this freaking block and you won't play. Like, I would totally be happy to play today and move it each time. I'm the type of person I need one or two people to trust. And then besides that, they're all puzzle pieces. In all these other games that I played with Charity, that's how I get far. Because I find those one or two people I can trust with my soul, and everybody else either has to build my trust enough to replace those people, or you're just a chess piece.
Did you feel like I was trustworthy in the game we played, or were you hesitant on? Could you tell that I was?
You wouldn't trust me. Remember, we had conversations, and I said I need 100%, and look me in the eye, and you wouldn't do it.
There you go.
Because you were a huge
Well, you thought I was playing. You thought I was playing you, but I really wasn't.
Yeah, wrong move, Matt.
I know.
When especially out there, it was such a condensed game. We just didn't have the time to really get to know each other. So it really was like a listen, bitch. Either you got me or you don't got me.
Yep.
And so if I didn't get it,
yeah.
So let me go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. So I would like to play. I would enjoy that part of new school, the flipping and the voting blocks, and talking out loud about, well, that person's a threat. How do you think you're going to beat them? That wasn't allowed. If I would even bring it up, well, Tom's going to beat you. I was shushed real quick. What I wouldn't like is all the twists and advantages. And I mean, I'm down with an immunity idol or two.
It's unnecessary with the characters.
Yeah, when there's 5 advantages in one play, it's ridiculous.
Do you like the live tribals, Coby, where they're whispering and stuff? Because I'm
going to be controversial. I do.
Okay.
I know most fans don't. I'm all over it.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I get that Jeff has become such an integral part of the game that to keep any of your game secret so he doesn't expose you, you have to play secretively sometimes. Yeah. I mean, that's modern day. Jeff's going to out you if you give him everything. So, I mean, it is what it is. So it doesn't bother me.
You're hearing and seeing what we wouldn't be able to hear or see otherwise. So
right. Or they would be doing it off camera, as you know, Johnny.
Yeah.
They'd be doing it off camera while they're sitting there putting your mic on and you're not supposed to be talking. So, I mean, at least we're kind of seeing who's talking to who and stuff like that. So I don't mind it. I know a lot of
closed captioning counts.
Yeah, why don't they up the mics? I mean, obviously, we should be able to hear them, where they could at least put subtitles.
There's some whispering motherfuckers. That's the key to New School Survivor. Extra whispering, Coby.
Right. And what I want to take to the next level, and I probably shouldn't say this in case I ever get cast, but I'm doing it anyway, is that what I want is next level, which is once that whispering starts, be like, listen, bitch, motherfucker, you better speak to me like a man and look me in the face and talk to me in front of everybody, or you shouldn't be talking to me at all.
I love it.
That would be awesome.
So What did you think? I mean, when season 40 aired, you're obviously a Survivor fan, Coby, right? And we see Tony Vlachos, the winner. Do you find him to be one of the greatest players of all time, or do you think he's an overrated player? Because season 40 was, I don't think season 40 was the greatest season of all time. Like, diving into Survivor Palau and watching some of these videos Jonny sent me today that I haven't seen in many, many years, I was like, fuck, that was a great season.
Yeah. I mean, they created a monster in Stephanie, but otherwise, I think.
Oh, dude, your season, dude, like, yeah, Stephanie was amazing. I mean, you have the epic challenge between Fireman Tom and Ian, I guess was his name, that epic
14
challenge.
hours.
Yeah, those are some of the most iconic things in Survivor history. So Survivor 40, how did you think it kind of played out? Were you stoked on it as a fan?
No. Well, first of all, I knew some of the people playing, no names. I know some of the people playing, so I kind of knew how it played out anyway. So I was prepared as a viewer.
Coby's a spoiler guy, in case
I am. I don't put it out there. I didn't say nothing.
But you get.
I know. If I know somebody playing, it makes me nervous. I have to know how they do it. Like, makes me nervous.
Why? Isn't it more fun watching?
No, not if I know the people. I have to know.
No, I don't give a fuck. Because I got texts. I got texts the entire season from Tony and Wendell, and they're just like, tonight might be crazy. I'm like, you fucking like
asshole! Don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
No, fucking with me.
Right. Yeah, because they're trying to ruin it.
No, I don't know. I have no clue. Tony literally said Boston Rob came back like the morning of the finale, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Because he knows, number one, he knows I hate fucking knowing. Like, I don't want to know. But the fact that Boston Rob would ruin season 40 more than he basically texted me and said Boston Rob comes back and wins. I'm just
good for him. Yeah, no, I'm not a Tony fan, and the reason I'm not, and I felt like he was rewarded for flashy behavior. I mean, like, if you look at his tree shack, right? The only reason that worked is because Sarah brought him the people. So the fact that it made it look like he was so brilliant, well, not really. I guess you're brilliant at making Sarah do what you wanted, but I don't think he was that brilliant. And I think at the end of the day, they rewarded him for flashy gameplay, for resume flashy gameplay. And to me, that's not the best game. It's just flashy. And I also feel like Tony, I've never met Tony in real life, so maybe he's exactly like that. But
he's awesome.
Tony's one of those people on TV as a fan. He strikes me like a Tom who knows the camera's there and he manipulates how he's going to be seen on TV. And that I don't enjoy.
Now, were you surprised that Tom did not play or get asked or whatever on season 40?
He was asked.
Well, have you seen Tom lately? And I mean this out of love.
He medically wasn't able to play, right?
Yeah, I think he has some medical issues. And if you've seen him lately, and I mean this as sweet as possible, he's gained a little weight. And stuff like that. So I don't know if he would be able to play.
So he basically looks like Jonny Fairplay. I get it. So he was medically unable to play. So I understand that's why Jonny won't be able to play Legend. So
I just want to race.
I just had to bust your balls.
I just ran 8-minute miles for 6 miles.
But yes, the rumor is that medically he has a problem. I haven't heard of him confirm that or deny it. But we had a reunion recently, and I was like, oh, Tom looks different.
How do you think he would have done if he would have been able to medically be out there?
With that weight, I don't think he would have done well.
Well, right. I mean, like the Tom you played with, if he came back nowadays.
I think with or without.
I don't think he would do well. I think Heroes versus Villains proved that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tom is not a modern day player, and he's not a true lover or survivor. Like when him and Stephanie went out to play Heroes versus Villains, they hadn't even watched him forever. They didn't even know who they were playing with. They did not do their homework like Jonny did. Like if you're going to play an all-star season, at least know who you're playing with. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom dominated my season, hands down. I get it. He deserved to win. But in the scheme of, like, players who play, he's not up there for me.
But did he really deserve to win in that?
He did, because he won.
Well, I understand that. But, I mean, like, and I'm not discounting his win in any way. But like, as far as players, like if you have one more person on day whatever, Tom is the vote, right? Like no.
But you're saying that comparatively to other seasons. With our season and our group, he played it perfectly because those people basically wrote him a check from day one, and they were fine with it. Okay. I mean, everybody knew Tom was going to win, and they kept him in.
As crazy. I said, you were on the downside. I know it like the 5-4 vote. Like if Tom would have been available, like if you have 5 versus 4, Tom's gone. Right, like like it's just like, hey,
you would think,
I don't know if anyone's watching this game, but this guy's about to get $1 million. Like you were cognizant.
But our group wasn't down with that though. Our group was very, old school alliance till the end. Like they weren't having any of that talk.
Yeah, but you would say you play an old school game. I mean, like you're. I know you're talking.
I play both. I would play both. Because I have to have those one or two people I really trust, or I go crazy.
Oh well, we have it out there now. Coby Archa is by.
Yeah, exactly. Free agent.
Weird.
Well, Coby, I'm surprised to hear you say that because you are the one who cost Tom the first Survivor perfect game. Why did you cast that vote? I've never heard you explain that one.
Well, I was once again fairly clear at the final tribal. I looked at both of them and I said, "You both played a lot of bullshit, and whoever tells me the honest game that they played tonight will get my vote." And Tom sat up there and was like, "Oh, well, no, I was great." And I was like, that's not really the game you played, because he was a bully who manipulated, and that's how he got to the end, which is great. I mean, he won, right? But he wouldn't admit that.
That's a strong Tom impression, by the way.
He still played that Captain America bullshit, firefighter 9/11. And then Katie, on the other hand, looked at Janu, and when Janu asked who she should vote for, Katie basically said, "Fuck you, Janu. I don't like you, and I don't want your vote," basically. And even though I loved Janu at the time, I was like, Katie did what I asked. She's playing honest. She gets my vote.
Yeah.
And then it just so happens that I screwed Tom out of a perfect vote. At the time, once again, our season was so honest. We didn't compare notes before we went in there. I didn't know who everybody was voting for. And to remind you, our season had that crazy challenge before, the 14-hour challenge. So we go into the final 2 not knowing who was the final 2 because they had been at the challenge the whole time. So we had to go into the final tribal prepared for a Ian Tom, an Ian Katie. We had to have all those scenarios in our head because they wouldn't tell us who the final 2 was till we got there.
What was the jury doing while that challenge went so late?
We were waiting, wondering what the fuck was going on, because we knew at that point we should be going. We were like, why aren't we going? And then they finally came and told us what was going on. They said the challenge is going and going and going.
How long did you wait?
The challenge was 14 hours. So then by the time they got to tribal, it was in the middle of the night. I don't remember. I just remember it was late.
I guess like a potential 4 hours more than.
No, it was even more than that. Probably it was a long time. I mean, we kept thinking, did somebody get hurt? They wouldn't tell us. Now I could tell when Jeff was questioning me what my final statements would be, and they would say, "Okay, if it's this 2 or this 2," I could tell when he was finally kind of like, "Well, what if it's Tom and Katie?" I was like, okay, so Ian must be out of there. And people have asked me if Ian could beat Tom. I still don't think he could. I know the fans love Ian, and Tom is going to win no matter who Tom is against because he was Tom.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So Coby, you stepped down from a challenge for donuts.
Thank you for bringing that up, because actually the hilarity here is that I was imitating Jonny Fairplay. I really was. We went into that challenge. And I knew that they were sniffing me good. I had no idea that they were sniffing me as much as they were, because apparently they had been targeting me the last couple of challenges and had even considered throwing a challenge to get rid of me. I found this out later. I didn't know it at the time. And so I knew going into that challenge, I was going to jump first. And I had Fairplay in my brain. I thought, just act like you don't care. Like, this is your moment to put on a little show. Be like, I don't care about this, because they kept promising they were going to get rid of Janu because she had been sick for 2 weeks. So I thought I had one more challenge to really show them just how long I could last. And that was my mistake. Because the second I jumped, which I did on purpose, I turned around and I could tell by the look on all their faces it was me.
Wow, Jonny, is this news to you?
Yeah, he didn't know that.
So
Yeah.
Jonny Fairplay, Coby ruined his fucking game based off of a Jonny Fairplay inspiration. So now, because I'm devastated that Coby got voted out, I blame you, Fairplay.
Yeah, I blame me too. And I blame Coby for making poor Jonny Fairplay. Jonny Fairplay would not.
Well, no, but Jonny Fairplay wouldn't jump, but you were slightly unlikable, which is why everybody wanted to take you to the end. So I was hoping. No, you played. I recently watched your season. You played very well. I'm going to give you. You did.
I don't think anyone took me anywhere.
I don't think they took you anywhere, but I do think you used that to your advantage many times when you were talking people into
Absolutely.
things. And so I thought at that time,
1,000% in agree. Like I think that is a very key perception.
I thought if I keep, because at that point I was going a little crazy. So I thought, well, if I really play up the crazy, maybe they're not going to see me as much of a threat.
Yeah.
But the second I jumped, I was like, fuck, I am gone.
Don't give up shit for it.
I know, it's so stupid.
Like, looking back now, I mean, do you kick yourself in the ass for that decision, Coby?
I don't.
Donuts?
I don't. Those donuts were so good. I don't, because what I said at Tribal is true, which was when Jeff Probst asked me if I regretted it at the time and would they be $1 million donuts. I said no, because quite honestly, if I would have played a better game up till now, if I go tonight, it's because I haven't played a good enough game up until tonight.
Yeah.
So that is my bigger regret. Not that I jumped down, but that I didn't play a better game up until that point. Because if I would have worked harder, I do think I could have flipped Greg and Jen and even Katie. Katie always admitted that she would go wherever the power was. So if we could have sucked the power from Tom and Ian, Katie probably would have followed. So that's what I regret, is not talking to more people all the time.
Yeah, because your point of contact for the Greg Jen alliance was just Greg primarily.
Correct. It was just Greg. And the reason that didn't happen is because Janu kept getting sick. And so Greg was scared to pull the trigger because we didn't have her number.
It wasn't a guaranteed number.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, wow. Coby, you go home, and can you tell us about the oar? I've heard this story before, but for anyone who hasn't.
Oh, have you? Okay, so when they were voting me out, I knew they were voting me out, right? Like, as Jeff kept poking and prodding, they basically all kind of admitted it, and they all started, people aren't going to believe this, but really a lot of them started getting teary-eyed. Like, Greg was next to me, and he almost started crying. And so, like, I was patting him on the back, and I was like, I get it, it's a game. Like, do what you need to do. So when they voted me out, everybody turned to me and said that they respected me so much in the game, and they thought I was such a great player. Out of respect, they gave me an oar from the boat. And so that's why when you see me walking off, I have the oar. Because people are like, where the hell did he get the oar from? They gave it to me like a battle respect. And so that's why in my final confessional, I say that, and I just look delusional because they didn't show that part. So it looks like everybody hates me. And then I'm like, they all thought it was such a threat.
Oh, that's cool.
And I didn't get to keep the oar because they ended up selling it on eBay for the HIV charity.
Elizabeth Fletcher Pediatric AIDS Foundation.
Damn, you're professional.
Wow. I mean, I like to raise money for them. So, holy moly. All right. Real quick. I mean, there's a couple things we've got to at least gloss over before we let you go. What was next? Blowout?
No, Tease. It was a show I did with Lisa Rinna. It had one season. It was on Oxygen.
Oh, no. We lost Coby's face.
He's here.
Can you see me now?
Yep.
My phone was warning me I have 20%. We can still keep talking. So I did a show called Tease with Lisa Rinna, and she was the host, and I was the co-host.
Yes.
And it was basically like Iron Chef. They had like a small town stylist against a big town stylist, and they would compete and see who wins. Yeah. But it only had one season because the second I stepped on the stage, we shot the pilot, and in the pilot, we were all in one salon. So the hairstylists were kind of fighting, and it was fun and interesting. We get to the set, and they have these people on this side of the set and these people on this side of the set. And I turned to the producer and I said, well, how are they going to interact and fight? And he literally looked at me like a light bulb and was like, and so that's why it didn't work. So it was like a dumb show.
Yeah. But I watched it because I'm just like, I want to see my boy Coby.
Well, the premise was cool, but like I said, they didn't have them interact. It didn't work.
Okay. So you do that. Why are you the greatest Dr. Frankenfurter ever?
I have been told that I look like him since I was 16. And it's almost like the older I get, the more I look like him. It's funny because in my town, which is a smaller town, it's like 200,000. It's not tiny, but a small town. People now will come to me and they'll say, gosh, you're famous. And I'm like, yeah, Survivor. And they're like, no, I went and saw you do Rocky Horror last year. You're amazing.
There you go.
So it's like my second small town fame.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to get to do it this year because of freaking COVID.
I was about to say, when COVID is done, and unfortunately, I'm scared it's not going to be this Halloween. Even if it is this Halloween, potentially not safely. So I'm going to skip this one. 2021, I would like to live watch you
do it.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
Do it. Bring the podcast. Make it happen.
I got to do it.
It's awesome. It's fun. So, and I've done it since I was 16. I can't believe I'm still getting away with it. I keep telling people, I'm like, you have to pull me off stage when I look like an idiot. Like, don't let me look like some old fart who's like.
You're more Dr. Frankenfurter in 2020 than you were.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird, right? I don't get it.
It's such an amazing character. Anyone that's not familiar with Rocky Horror Picture Show, shoot yourself. And then go watch it, and you'll love it, and you'll be hooked. It's amazing. And then go buy the vinyl. I have lots of requirements if you've not watched Rocky Horror until now. But Coby is visually, I'm just like, holy fucking moly. Thanks. Coby Archa, are you Dr. Frankenfurter, like born and bred, or what?
It's keeping me in shape, fighting shape. So Every year it gives me a goal.
I have a question, Coby. So you and I got to play Durham Warrior Survival Challenge together. So it was almost like we got to play Survivor together. So you are a fan, I'm assuming, of Jonny Fairplay, Jonny Fairplay's gameplay. If there were a legend season and you're out there with Jonny Fairplay and Russell Hantz and Lex Vandenberg and Sheree Fields and Boston Rob, is Jonny Fairplay someone that you could see yourself creating an alliance with?
100%.
100%?
I'd already planned it going to when I thought I was going to play with him. So, yes, I would trust Jonny.
Same.
And he's a phenomenal player.
When you go back by saying that,
yeah, I'll edit this out. Don't worry.
When you go back and watch Pearl Islands, you really played a great game. You actually had a lot of hard players your season, which I was reminded of when I went back and rewatched it. I was like, dang, I don't remember everybody playing this hard. Because even stupid old Lil was playing hard.
And I'm wondering now, so Jonny Fairplay, as Coby's saying this, when you play Pearl Islands, it's like, wow, Pearl Islands is a great season. Jonny Fairplay, you played a great game. You were a virgin as far as Survivor strategy. I mean, I know you know how reality television worked, but
that was a huge advantage.
Looking now,
and then the game.
Yes, but I'm saying, like, watching all these seasons of Survivor, interviewing all these people on our podcast that we do you think Jonny Fairplay fares up and can play the great game that people would expect from Jonny Fairplay? Is it a hindrance? I mean, both Coby. I mean, you guys to me are both fucking legends. I'm a fucking fan.
No, hindrance. I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely playing a different game, like a 1,000% different game. But at the same time, like there were elements of my original game was just to make good television. First and foremost, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to give you guys, the viewer, the best fucking show you could fucking watch from a fucking bad guy, because you've never gotten one before. In the history of reality television, no one had ever been walked out and said, I want to be a bad guy. Puck didn't see himself as a bad guy. Jerry Manthe didn't see herself as a bad guy. Richard Hatch didn't see himself as a bad guy. This is the first guy that walked in like, I'm fucking NWO. I'm fucking Ric Flair. I'm Roddy Piper. I'm Andy Kaufman. Let's go. So that was my number one goal. So when if I were to play again, 2021, 2022, whatever it is, that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is I got two little girls. like one of them's 3 years old, one of them's 12 years old. I would like $2 million. I would like $5 million. I will settle for $1 million. But that's where will I give you good television? Yes. Is that my primary goal? No.
And what would your primary goal be, Coby? Like based off what Johnny's saying, like Johnny's a parent now, and so are you. So is your now motivation to play Survivor Legends potentially be for the money, or be to prove that Coby Archa is one of the greatest players that have ever stepped foot on Survivor?
The proof, not the money for me. Even though I have kids, Mine would be to prove that I could play the game for sure. And I would go out there and try to have as much fun as possible.
Yeah.
I wasn't a very good date in Palau towards the end. If you think of it like dating, like I was a pretty bitter date.
Mm-hmm.
So I would try to remember to be fun to play with.
Well, all I know is, I know I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for Jonny, Zack, and the entire Survivor community. And we have a lot of badass. I mean, dude, like we've interviewed Brian Heidick and Sari Fields and Russell Hance and a lot of legendary players. Jonny and I have been wanting to get you on the podcast forever. I don't know if it's because you were not wanting to do it, because who knows?
He wasn't trying to fuck up shit, Matt.
But I'm telling you, dude, and I've teared up several times throughout this podcast. This is one of my favorite podcasts we've ever done.
Nah,
because I truly fucking want to see you play again. You are a fucking legend, and have literally put a stamp on the game that is one of the top that I've ever seen.
Thank you, babe.
And Coby, I just have a couple more questions, just rapid fire ones before we let you go here.
Bring it.
What are your thoughts on the immunity idol looking like Willard?
Love it. Though at the time I thought it was a bit cruel because they would tell Willard in front of Willard. That's where Katie and them were a little shitty about their lines, and they were kind of the mean kids. But looking back in retrospect, yeah, that's awesome. And nobody can find Willard anymore. We wish we could find him. Wow. We had a reunion a couple of weeks ago, and we can't get a hold of him.
Okay. How did you first find out Bobby, John, and Stephanie were coming back for Guatemala?
Well, I stayed in touch with some of the people from casting because I'm a huge gossip. And also, and you probably know this, it was actually supposed to be Wanda and Jonathan. Did you know that?
Did not.
And then they were dumped again. And then it was Bobby, John, and Stephanie. So I was pissed.
Wow.
I don't blame them, but I was pissed. I was like, really? Again? They're oolong.
Do you know why they dumped them again?
I don't.
That's fascinating.
Did you hear the casting story of Bobby John going into
No, tell me.
It's a Patreon exclusive. And on that, go
when we're done recording.
patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. One of the greatest stories in the history of Survivor casting.
For him in Palau? For him in Palau or Guatemala?
Guatemala.
Ooh.
It's nuts.
Oh. And just functioning as a transition, as we're starting to change gears a little bit around here, are you a Big Brother fan?
I am.
Who do you think's coming back for All-Stars?
Oh, well, I've seen the rumors. I'm sure, is it Paulie? Is that his name? Is it Paulie or Paul? The guy with the beard?
Paul.
Whatever his name is. Yeah, Paul. I'm sure Paul's going to be there, right?
Of course.
Big Brother's kind of like Survivor. I wish they'd go more old school. I think they're going to stick a lot of people from recent.
They are.
They are?
No, it does not. It appears that they're grabbing a couple. Like, the early rumors are what, Ian and Dan and Janelle and stuff like that. But like, it's like,
yeah, I haven't heard Janelle. I would love it if Janelle was there.
But like 8 people from like the last season.
Correct.
Stop it.
And then 1 or 2 like beloved fan favorites from the old school to just throw to the fodder. Yeah, not great.
I want Chicken George. Anything less than Chicken George displaying his mastery of the Big Brother game is a travesty.
And then what about The Amazing Race? Y'all watch The Amazing Race? Y'all excited about that?
That's what we wanted to finish with. So,
sorry, premature.
Survivor season 41 will not take place in the fall 2020 schedule as originally predicted on the Wednesday night 8 p.m. time slot. That is for at least or at least fall 2020, The Amazing Race. Are you going to watch The Amazing Race?
I also love The Amazing Race. I love all 3 staples. I'm sorry, I do.
Boom. Okay. I assure you we are covering them here at Survivor NSFW. Once again, if you'd like to see them ad-free, in advance, uncut, and ready early, go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. But yes, we are covering The Amazing Race. We're covering Big Brother, and we're covering was it the toughest race or the toughest
world's toughest race? Eco Challenge
with Rhino
with the Rhino from Survivor Palau.
As I say, you want some scoop on that?
No spoilers.
No, it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
This is a scoop that people probably don't know, so I'm giving you an exclusive.
I love it.
When Rhino was definitely the head of that happening, and so he actually reached out to me.
Same here.
And so I was one of those that I was kind of talking to him about it, and then the more I talked to him, the more I thought, if I'm stuck in a jungle with Rhino, I would probably kill him.
1,000. Like Rhino called me and he goes, so I can't say anything and you don't say anything, but I'm about to do Eco Challenge. And I was like, cool. And he was like, they pretty much guaranteed that I'll be captaining my own tribe on Survivor immediately after. And I was like, oh, it's on CBS? And he was like, no. And I was like, why the impetus for your rise in the Survivor hierarchy?
Did you see his interview in Entertainment Weekly that came out a couple of days ago? You know how Dalton's interviewing people. He's doing a quarantine questionnaire.
Oh no!
And he basically blames his downfall of his game on you, Pearl Islands. He said that you turned everybody against him. And then he also in the beginning, and I knew this because I've talked to him, but he said it publicly, so I could talk about it. He also mentions in his opening paragraph about him being held at gunpoint in Panama and robbed and his family. And I'm like, why would you tell Entertainment Weekly that?
Yeah, are you aware of what happened there?
I am, but the whole thing's bizarre, and the fact that he's still talking about it is bizarre.
Well, I mean, I think it would haunt me if my parents were beat in front of me and held at gunpoint in Panama.
But why would you tell Entertainment Weekly that? Don't you think that's weird?
I would skip that part.
He's probably going to say this and never talk to me again, but that's fine.
No,
he's become a little
grudges.
Yeah, he's become a little awkward in his late age.
Are we forced now to have Rhino next week to talk
rebut all of this?
I don't know. Well, I mean, he's the one who talked about it in Entertainment Weekly in the first paragraph.
Rhino is insane. Rhino, I love you. Please don't kill me. I love you.
Excited to see you on Amazon Prime.
Very, very excited to see you on Amazon. But you are insane, and we've known this for years. This is nothing new. Okay, but yeah, I would like Insane Rhino on the podcast next week if possible.
Make it happen.
Oh my God! All right, so Coby, what do you have coming up?
Nothing.
Are you going to? Do you want to join us? You want to join us for some of those? You want to join us for a big?
Yeah, I'll definitely. Let this out of the bag a little bit. I will join you for the Amazing Race because I may or may not know some people cast on it.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah,
so
good stuff.
So and Big Brother, are you going to watch the toughest race, the world's toughest race?
Yeah,
I am too,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And like I said, it's funny because Big Brother, as you could tell when you asked me names, Survivor, I know almost everybody in their names. Big Brother, I know about half. The Amazing Race, it's like I don't know anybody's names. Like I love it, but like I can never remember anybody's name that plays.
Well, because they usually it's like the twins,
cheesy
or
team,
the jocks,
right.
or like what was season 1 winners, the gay lawyers, Brendan Swain and the other guy. I love that just flew right. Like it's so the winners of season 1 of the Amazing Race, the lawyers, were not gay. But every time I see Brennan, I go, "Oh, the gay lawyers! I'm so proud of you." They're like, we're not gay. I'm like,
well, see, I just said I can't remember anybody, so I didn't take it. I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah. So anyway, well, we will be having Brendan Swain, winner of the first season of The Amazing Race, joining us for coverage of The Amazing Race this fall. One half of the gay lawyers. We're really excited for that.
Well, I know that whole cast is very ready for it to be seen since it was filmed 2 years ago. And I know a lot of them are excited that it's going to be in the fall because, I don't think The Amazing Race has been on in the fall in forever.
It had moved to like Friday nights at like 10 p.m. and then Sunday. I mean, like just death spots. It's just like, like it's one of those, like you're in a relationship and you think the person's trying to break up with you, but you're not sure. And it's like, oh, Friday night, 10 o'clock. Oh, Sunday at 6. Okay. Yeah. They're
So I think they're excited for that Survivor spot for sure.
Yeah. So no, I'm happy for them. I mean, like I've had lots of friends over the years from The Amazing Race. I mean, like we're once you do one of these shows, that the casting process is so similar, that the process once you're out there is so similar. And the charity events that we all go to and support, it all brings you together. So the Amazing Racers, Big Brother, Real World, even American Idol, like there's that bubble of, man, you did some shit. And it's, I mentioned American Idol real quick. It's like, oh, they didn't starve to death on an island. It's an emotionally taxing process. All of these things. I mean, just that camera, 4 feet from you at all times is serious,
Okay, so who the hell is Zach?
There you go.
Who, me?
Yeah, what reality show were you on?
You don't remember me from season 12? Come on. No, I'm shitting with you. I have fucked with random fans before who have gotten me to pose for a picture with them and told them I was a random person. I think I went with one of the generic white dudes from Vanuatu.
It counts.
And they bought it, so that's fine. No, I'm a TV. I'm a writer. I'm an author, and then I'm
a big fan.
Thanks.
Yeah. So real quick, peek behind the curtain before you go. We have fun here. So Coby asks, he goes, who am I doing the podcast with? Is it just me and you, or is it me, you, and the Beardster? And I'm just like, actually, it's me, Matt, and Zack Hacker. And he goes, this Zack Hacker, and Coby sends a picture of you, Zach, to me.
Okay.
I did my homework.
Nice.
He was into it, Zach. just in case you need to keep your options open.
Hey, I love it. That makes me feel good.
Fans versus favorites.
Yeah. There it is.
So fast forward. I'm talking to a friend and patron, and they were like, who do you have on the podcast? And I was like, actually, I was like, Coby. And it's like Coby, and I get a picture of Coby in a Speedo, and prompt reply, and I'm just like, this is the day of photographs that I was not expecting to see, one after another. I was not expecting to see a sexy shot of Zack Hacker in my Facebook Messenger feed, not to be only to be outdone by Coby in a Speedo.
Those damn manties. What's funny is that they lied to us and told us we were going to a photo shoot so that we all put our regular clothes on. And I remember specifically, because once again, I was naive. I was like, I'm going to put on these pretty underwear because they make me feel pretty. I never in a million years thought I'm going to be on national television.
After Pearl Islands.
I know. Well, that was my thing. They had just done it. So I thought they're not going to do that. They just did it. Yeah. Tom Westman, on the other hand, wore his bathing suit under his clothes. That's why he won. He was smarter than me.
Boom! There you go. I mean, like you sit there. Your big takeaway from Pearl Islands is not that they're going to fuck us at the beginning, which they double fucked you with the press shoot.
I know, so dumb.
And Wanda, and it's like, oh, let me be an asshole like Jonny Fairplay. That's what I took away from Pearl Islands. Coby, where can everybody find you coming up and on social media?
It's all Coby Archa. Luckily, my name is weird, so I'm the only one everywhere. And then that's just it. I'm just raising my kids, being good, hopefully get sucked into the world of Survivor again because I'm desperate.
Well, I know
my brand.
I hope to see you. I think tons of people that listen to our podcast and the Survivor community in general, Coby, wants to see you play again. So
thanks.
This has been fucking awesome.
We love you. I think there's definitely been an uptake with the quarantine of people binge watching the old seasons. It's been interesting because I've been getting steadily fan mail this whole time, but it's gone up. I don't know if it has for you guys, but it's gone up again because so many people are stuck at home streaming it again.
My cameo, like I'm averaging like 5 cameos a day minimum. Like,
that's cool. That's a cool part of it.
I'm binge watching Survivor. You're my favorite. I'm binge watching Survivor. I hate you. I'm binge watching Survivor. My wife hates you. I'm binge watching Survivor. So cameo.com/Survivor NSFW, or no, cameo.com/Jonny Fairplay. And apparently the world is binge watching Survivor, which also goes back to my initial argument of let's just bring back players that we've spent this quarantine learning and knowing and loving.
And I have one final question. Who did the picture behind you again? Was it Texture Fracture?
FractureMe.com/Survivor.
And so when is Fracture going to give Matt one for his white wall?
Well, actually, Matt has stuff he's putting up on his wall, and I think you could add to that collection.
Well, let me just tell you this. So when I have done this podcast in 3 different locations. This is the room where Jonny Fairplay fucked.
I've had sex in that room.
In this bed. Well, there's a picture of my fucking dog. There's my PBR.
Now this is what I was expecting from this podcast. Okay, at least you're giving me it towards the end.
So
this is what I thought the whole podcast.
This is my spare bedroom. Jonny Fairplay is like, fuck, there's probably cum on the wall.
He's doing it wrong.
But my
or
kids,
he's doing it right.
Yes, fucking. So my kids have been off school because of COVID, and they stay up till. I mean, it's 11:45 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be up till 1 a.m. So they're playing video games probably in the basement with their friends.
Killing Matt's Wi-Fi right now.
So, and then Tessa's probably watching some Netflix shit because her husband is doing fucking podcasts with Coby Archa, Zack and Jonny. So I've been fucking forced to just put a makeshift studio in this room with a fucking gray wall. So... And when school starts, I'll probably be back in the basement. But, dude, I tell you what, Jonny, those things right there remind me of when I used to go to this thing called the Fireman's Festival back in the day, and I used to see, like, Quiet Riot and Motley Crue. They're these little mirror fucking metal band. They were like 7-inch records. I love it. Yeah. So, where's fucking mine and Zach's? Goddamn, I need something for here. But Coby, in all seriousness, brother, like, I love you. I'm a fan.
No. Tell them what you need.
Huh?
Show me.
I need your beard hair.
Here's what's going on the wall.
So I want to collect Survivor's beard hair. So here's Jonny's Fairplay's beard. Okay.
Between the beard and the cum.
And then this right here. This is my friend Phil from the Survivor Specialist podcast beard right here. I want to have a wall of fucking beards. I don't give a fuck about Survivor torches.
And one of the greatest beards in the history of Survivor.
Dude, your dense-ass fucking beard, just grow it for the next 2 weeks, shave it, put it in a Ziploc bag, send it to me. I have Coby Archa's fucking beard on my wall.
Well, since we're going to manifest this, right? We're going to manifest this. I'm going to go back and I'm going to play Survivor again. I'll make it all the way to the fucking end, and I'll have this long-ass beard, and it's all yours. Baby.
Oh, dude, I love it.
That's even better.
Can you send him an interim beard so he has something on his fucking walls?
Maybe. We'll see.
So, like, I may not be gay, but I'm definitely beard curious, Coby.
I'm kind of a beard tease.
Oh.
Well, dude, this has been fucking absolutely awesome, better than I could even imagine. And Coby, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Because I know you,
of course,
I know you were fucking nervous of Jonny Fairplay fucking outing you on some fucking crazy ass shit. And the fact that you had the balls to play or come on a podcast is great.
It was that, and just because of my kids, I just don't get to make time for this stuff very often as part of it. But I couldn't tell Jonny no again. So anything for you guys.
Thank you, Coby.
It was awesome. It was much nicer than expected, but at least you ended it with cum. So,
oh yeah.
Thanks.
That's going in our new intro, by the way. All right. Awesome. Hey, best way to support the podcast, go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all those things and rate us 5 stars wherever you can do that and leave a review. That makes a big difference. It's been a while since we've asked you guys to do that, so please do that. And also become a patron. I mean, I know some of you guys don't like the ads. We are ad-free and early going forward, patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. Check out the website that Zack has taken under his wings and destroyed and killed on every level. It's one of my favorite websites on the internet right now. I love it so much. It's so beautiful and so interactive. You got the Patreon on there as well. That's SurvivorNSFW.com. And just until then, next week, I am jazzed.
And now we'll take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors.
Summer is in full action, and we are thankful for our sponsor today, Manscaped, for keeping us fresh. Sun's out, bums out. That's right, we're talking butts. And hopefully not your pubes are out. Manscaped offers all the right tools to keep your hair groomed above and below the belt. Oh my God, I was at the pool the other day, and there was one of the moms nearby. And she walked by, very friendly lady, and I'm just staring at what appears to be Chewbacca and a headlock on each side of her thighs. Like I think Kurt Angle had the scissor hold around Chewie there. And I was like, oh my God, you need to learn about Manscaped. Why is that? Because Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full body grooming game. They actually just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is the perfect add-on to their Lawnmower 3.0 or Perfect package. The Shears 2.0 is a luxury 4-piece nail kit featuring tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes slashed, tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. You're probably wearing flip-flops. Boom, take a look right here as we speak, and people don't want to see those nasty unclipped toes of yours. No one likes an ungroomed set of feet, fingers, and most importantly, balls. That's why they have forever changed the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. Tell them, Zach.
The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0, water-resistant cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. This is the best trimmer on the market for those of you in need of a chest shave or a ball cleanup. The third-generation trimmer features skin-safe technology to reduce manscaping accidents. Inside the Perfect Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, because we know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing your bathing suit all day. Yeah. You'll also find the Crop Reviver, a testy toner that's designed to give you a pep in your step. Subscribe to the Perfect Package and get a new blade refill for your lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months. For a limited time, subscribers will also get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value add, and the patented high-performance, reduced-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. And let me tell you, they're comfortable as hell. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job.
That's right. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR. Summer is here. It's time to manscape. Summer's here. It's crazy hot outside. We all know that you should drink more water. And by the time you feel thirsty, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. You can't focus and you feel tired.
Drinking enough water is critical for a healthy lifestyle. It increases your brain power and boosts your productivity. It prevents headaches and increases your total focus. Not only that, it improves your skin and mood. It helps your digestion and it gives you energy. It prevents bad breath and can even help you lose weight.
Holy moly, this is the dating cure of, if I've ever heard of one. But how much water should you drink each day? 10 cups, a gallon? The good news is it doesn't have to be that complicated. And that's why I start my day with Hydrant, because Hydrant helps you hydrate faster.
What is Hydrant? Well, they've created a refreshing electrolyte powder that you mix directly into water to more efficiently and effectively hydrate your body. It hydrates you quickly and keeps you going for longer.
Each rapid hydration mix has the 4 essential electrolytes your body needs: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. And it packs a punch to help your body hydrate fast and stay hydrated.
And if you're looking for that extra boost of energy, there's also Hydrant Plus Caffeine, which contains 100 milligrams of caffeine, all from green tea.
And Hydrant is backed by research. The formula was developed by an Oxford scientist. It's also loved by pro athletes like yourself, Jonny Fairplay. Oh yeah, did I mention first place in the men's masters in my last 10K? That's right, thanks to Hydrant. Top performers, celebrities, and thousands of 5-star reviews.
It's made with real fruit juice powder. It's delicious and refreshing and comes in a wide variety of flavors, including new summer-friendly iced tea lemonade and fruit punch.
I'm loving the fruit punch, but I go back to the blood orange. That's my favorite. And winning a 10K thanks to Hydrant is all the proof I need.
Not only that, though, it's also backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't love it, send it back for a full refund.
You really need to try it for yourself to see what I'm talking about. It tastes incredible and it works.
Hydrant starts at just $1 a packet for a 30-day supply, and you can save even more with the monthly subscription. But Jonny, tell them what kind of special offers we've got for them.
We got a special deal for our listeners right now. Save 25% off your first order. Huge, 25%. Go to drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter our promo code Survivor at checkout.
That's drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter promo code Survivor for 25% off your first order.
drinkhydrant.com/survivor, enter promo code Survivor to save 25%, and we thank them for sponsoring the Survivor NSFW podcast. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Oh, man, do I. I've been taking 4 or 5 Blue Chews just to get up in the morning. I use it. Remember when what's it called on a bike, the kickstand? Mm-hmm. I have my own kickstand thanks to Blue Chew. Thanks, guys. Well, if you at home can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed just like me, listen up. Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue.
Blue Chew brings you guys the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. If you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts in the wiener area, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. And Blue Chew is prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor visits, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness.
They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our promo code SURVIVOR. Just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR, and you can try it completely for free. Just pay for shipping. Blue Chew's the better, cheaper, fastest choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
Man, these guys are great. BlueChew.com is kind of like a hurt Peter. They're hard to beat. Zach, Matt, Coby,
dude.
Is this what he did? Is this what he used to do? What did you used to do, Fairplay? Was it this?
That's the gimmick.
There's the gimmick. So see you guys next week on another episode of Survivor NSFW. Cheers. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, you guys.